Hi everyone, welcome to Media. If you enjoy movie reviews, rankings, and all things cinema, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video. Now, before we get into today's review, I wanted to give you a bit of a background on myself. There is only one thing in this world I am terrified of. I have a phobia of snakes. Doesn't matter what they are, could be big ones, little ones, venomous, non-venomous, doesn't matter. If it slithers, that's me done. I'm out, I'm sorry, can't deal with it. I get weak legs, I feel dizzy, I get sweat. If we're watching a documentary that has snakes on it, my feet is off the floor, I am hiding behind the pillow. Can't deal with it. Don't know what it is. Moving on. But when I heard that Sony was going to be remaking Anaconda, I thought, brilliant. With today's effects and Sony chucking enough money at this project, we could get a big budget creature feature that can really instill fear, be absolute nightmare fuel for me. Unfortunately, I then read that this was going to be a comedy with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. What? Who's asking for this? Now, look, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love those actors in everything that they do. But this is not what I want. I wanted a horror movie with the one animal in the world that I am terrified of, not a self-aware comedy. So, I'll be honest, I put this on the back burner for a little bit. I thought, this doesn't really interest me. I'm not going to seek it out anytime soon. However, at the same time, I saw online a Chinese remake of Anaconda that came out in 2024. Now, I saw one still image from this movie. I'll put the image up on screen. When I saw the image of this snake, I thought, right, this is the film that's going to do it. That looks terrifying. So I looked everywhere for this movie. Could not find it anywhere. I don't think it was released on physical media outside of China, at least not in the UK, at least not what I could find. So as time goes by pure luck, I was away for work. I was sat in a hotel room, scrolling through the hotel TV. I think it was on the streaming service Tubi, I think that's what it's called. It's not a streaming service I'm familiar with. But anyway, I found the Chinese remake of Anaconda. I thought, right, okay, brilliant. Let's stick this on. Let's see if it's any good. Now, I will leave a link down below for my review for the Chinese remake of Anaconda. Down in the description below. Terrible movie. The acting's really poor. The story is nonsense. However, what they get absolutely right is the snake. Every single scene with this snake terrified me. I think there was one moment where it tried to bite the screen, my head smacked the back of the chair, bloody hurt, but I thought, oh, God's sake, this snake in a good movie will be like peak horror for me. That's it. That'll be the scariest film I've ever seen because of my phobia. So, as time goes on, I saw that the 2025 American remake of Anaconda goes on to streaming services, so I thought, okay, let's give this movie a chance. Now, getting the positives out of the way first, Jack Black and Paul Rudd are great in this film, unsurprisingly. They've got great chemistry with Thandie Newton and Steve Zahn. They play really well together in this movie, and it also has a very interesting concept. A group of friends who dreamt of going to Hollywood to make movies together decide to travel to Brazil, to the Amazon rainforest, to remake their childhood favourite movie, Anaconda. Love that concept, I'm on board with that. The first issue with this film is its runtime. It's a 90-minute movie, it's a short movie, and it takes such a long time for them to finally get to Brazil, and then they're spending the time with filming this new movie that it takes so long to finally get into its groove and actually deliver some action that when it eventually does, it's just boring. There's not enough to keep you engaged. Besides from its poor pacing, this movie is also strangely edited. When the movie started, I genuinely thought I was watching a movie within a movie. I thought our main characters were watching a bad remake of their favourite childhood film Anaconda before realising, no, I am. It's really choppy, like almost like there's scenes completely stripped out of it altogether. It doesn't feel cohesive. It feels like it's been stitched together and there's large chunks of the movie that's just been thrown on the editing floor. Now, I know this doesn't bother a lot of people as long as the movie they're watching is entertaining, but I look out for this kind of stuff. And it just really bothered me at the start. So, poor editing, bad pacing. The biggest complaint about this movie, where the hell is the snake? Because of its short runtime, it takes such a long time for the snake to appear. And when it finally does, it's in such quick edited shots that you never really get a real sense of the size of this thing. You never get a clear look at what it looks like. Every time it's on screen, it happens so quickly that you're almost like trying to register, what have I just witnessed? And then when the snake is actually revealed, it's often at nighttime scenes that's poorly lit. So you never really get to know what it really looks like. The best shot of the snake is after it's been killed and the camera lingers on its detached head. But by that point, I'm like, well, you've killed it now. There's no real sense of danger. I would also say some of the CGI on the snake is a bit ropey. Considering I watched the Chinese remake, obviously I don't know how much the budget for that movie was, but considering how bad the acting was and the story, I'm assuming they used a lot of their budget for the effects of the snake, and clearly it shows because that looks amazing. Whereas in this, it was most likely the reverse, right? They've used the money to get the actors in, the on-set locations, and then the snake doesn't look cartoonish, but it doesn't make me feel like that's a real snake. Keep that bloody thing away from me, which is a big disappointment. So unfortunately for me, I won't be returning to this film anytime soon. I do enjoy the original cult classic, although the animatronics looks a bit fake at this point. I absolutely despise the subsequent sequels because their CGI is just terrible. So I was really hoping that this would bring it into modern times with the money and the effects that it does have these days, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case. Now, I have seen online that director Mike P. Nelson is making a giant snake horror movie with Logan Marshall Green starring in it. I think it's called Titan. Try and find it online. So hopefully there is a film on the horizon that is going to scratch that itch for me. But for now, with Anaconda 2025, that wasn't it. I'm giving Anaconda 2025 a 1.5 out of 5. I did find it extremely disappointing. But let me know in the comments, have you seen this film? What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it or were you extremely disappointed like me? Love to know your thoughts on this. Let's have a conversation in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, just so you don't miss out on any future reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.